to type, I can't talk and click at the same time. So I have a lovely assistant, Natalia. As soon as we click, the video is going to play. Great. So don't click. Alice asked me to talk a bit about youth homelessness. And if you live in the city, you will notice the massive numbers of people sleeping rough. Some of those are young people, many are not, but it all starts for us when we meet a young person who is homeless or insecurely housed. So rather than me trying to describe what it's like to be young and homeless, I thought we'd let one of our clients do it. So we're going to watch a film about Will's story. So I hope you'll be able to see, even though the lights are up. So go on, give it all that, let's see.
Most nights I was on my own and it's quite lonely. The worst thing though is the weather. It obviously rains a lot in England. Once everything's wet and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you've got another 7, 8, 9 hours before you can get warm again. That's quite hard. I didn't ever think I'd experience being homeless, but yeah, I think it can happen to anyone, really. I think my mum thought a lot of the time I was staying at a friend's house. Obviously I didn't want to worry my family. The first night I was homeless, I didn't really sleep anywhere. I was just walking around with my bag. So yeah, it was a bit tough. I didn't have a sleeping bag, I just had my rucksack. And that's when it really sort of hit me that the situation I was in. I was sort of stayed out the way, mainly down in Hove, but out the way so people wouldn't see me. A lot of people think that the homeless people are the ones who are sitting in the streets, drinking all day. But I think, especially with young people, a lot of them don't really want to be seen. So I think a lot of the young people who are homeless are not known, really. I first heard about the clock tower at another service. I heard it was for people between 16 and 25. So I thought I'd better to be sort of more people my age, same sort of mentality. I had an interview with one of the volunteers. Then he showed me around the centre, showed me the kitchen, said I'm to help myself to make some stuff to eat and whatever. So yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
What's really good is there's an awful lot of other things going on. There's LifeWise going on, that's a life skills programme. There's music workshops, there's yoga, there's art workshops. They feel very supported, but in a very relaxed environment, and that's an unusual mixture for a lot of the clients.
When people think about homelessness, they think that it's mainly a practical problem, but often this is something that's built up for a while. It's emotional problems, it's often around complex needs. Something as simple as playing a game of Scrabble around a table with other young people and volunteers can go a long way. It's amazing the chats that you can have around a game of Scrabble.
There was one time I could have gone either way, really. I drank quite a bit, did a few drugs for about a week, and I came here one day. I hadn't slept for about 2 or 3 days, and yeah, I basically spoke to Martin, and he gave me a choice to make. Definitely easily have gone the other way. Looking back on my experience of being homeless in Brighton, without the clock tower, then I probably wouldn't be in this position that I'm in now. I've got my own place, starting up a window cleaning company. So I'm well on my way to getting my life back on track and being where I want to be, doing the things I want to do, and a lot of that is thanks to the Clock Tower Sanctuary.
That's a great story and illustrates really well not just the physical difficulties that young people who are homeless face, but the emotional difficulties. He talks a lot about the isolation, the vulnerability, the shame young people who are homeless are normally homeless because of a relationship breakdown or a series of relationship breakdown. Their family, the parent, partner, friends, and the sense of shame that they feel makes it really difficult for them to go back and say, I'm not doing very well. And so that sense of isolation and the physical difficulties that come from being homeless, the illness, the mental health issues, the lack of money, the lack of friends, makes them extremely vulnerable to exploitation, and it's really difficult to get back in to a situation where you would be able to experience a life that a young person would expect to live. And I think one of the things that's really struck me about working in the clock tower is young people that we work with are young people who've slipped through the net. You know, it could be my child, it could be my neighbour's child, it could be a friend of my children from school, it could have been me 40 years ago if my circumstances had been different. And I think it's very true to say that I haven't yet met a homeless young person who's chosen to be homeless or is clearly housed or living on the street. So we touched briefly in the film about what Clock Tower does, a sense of a safe space where you can be amongst other people who understand what's happening, that you can work out your problems with. We do a lot of work around crisis support, so people come in, they can wash their clothes and dry them, they can store stuff, they can have a postal address, they can eat, they can cook, they can take food from the fridge, they can have a choice about what they do and how they spend the next few hours that they're with us. They can make known what they would like to do and how they'd like to spend their time. So there's activities, they can go watch a film, they can go to Nando's. I don't really understand that, but apparently it's fun. I'm a Nando's girl. They can do a yoga class. So they can start to create a life that's a bit more normal and a bit more how a young person's life should be, and cast away the cares, if only for a few hours. Of course, we want them to make substantial changes in their life that will really kind of take them out of the place they are. The last thing we want, in fact, it's our mission statement, not to prevent young people from becoming part of the long-term homeless population. So we put in place various things to help them to step out of that, including training, one-to-one support, mentoring. We try and get people in work experience. We support them into jobs and into training and volunteering. And we also, I think, start to create a sense of belonging for them, that they belong to the Clock Tower family, and that they're able to not just receive from that, but they're part of the giving as well, that they learn to give and look for other people. And it's great when you see someone new come in, how people surround them and help them, and kind of show them the ropes, I suppose, and give them a bit of a different perspective on what we're doing. And we also introduce them to partner agencies who can help them with things like housing benefits, sexual health, oral hygiene, addiction, that kind of thing. So alongside that, it's a safe place where they can meet trusted agencies that we work with. So the other bit of the talk that Alice asked me to give was about how we can help young people to get out of this spiral. And of course, I'm going to say the best way you can help is to help the Clock Tower Sanctuary. And there's several ways you can say that. You can help us. One is raising the profile of the organisation. Talk about it to your friends, to decision makers, to people who will advocate for us. I don't waste an opportunity to talk about the work that I do. And sorry in advance about that, for those of you that haven't met me yet. You can raise funds for us, all kinds of ways, everything you can imagine. Sponsorship, fundraising events, payroll giving, supporting our winter campaign, looking at our Amazon wish list. We had a lovely thing this week where a guy donated, instead of asking for wedding presents, he asked all of the people who would buy him a wedding present to donate money to the Clock Tower Sanctuary. I think it was £3,650. That's absolutely massive for us. So be really creative. And the other way is you could come and volunteer for us. So you saw the volunteers in the day centre, and to be honest, if you can listen to people fold laundry or chop an onion, you're really welcome. You might have more specialist skills than that. You might be somebody that could run a workshop, maybe you're a dressmaker or a photographer or an artist, maybe you have IT skills. Maybe you have some business skills that you'd like to share with some of our clients. Maybe you're really, really good at table tennis, and you'd like to come and teach people how to be good at table tennis. I think, you know, just keeping in mind that no young person chooses to be homeless, no young person chooses really to stay in homelessness, and that together we can work together to ensure a brighter future for every single young person who's currently homeless or insecurely housed in Brighton